So today on Talking with Tiffany, we have Mr. John Sales, and John is a really good friend of mine, and he actually has a very interesting past that he is going to explain for us today. So John, I understand that you were adopted, so can you please tell us what happened to your biological mother?
Yes, when I was about 7 years old, my biological mother uh, passed away. About a year ago, I found out how she actually died. My grandmother was telling me that her boyfriend at the time, they had got high on some drugs, and he had pushed her head in cold water, and she caught pneumonia and went to the hospital and died a couple of days later after having a heart attack. And my father, I never really knew him. Just a year ago, I found out who he really was. So didn't know him. So that's pretty much about it.
You said that you were 7 years old, but I know you have a brother. So how old was he?
Yes, I have a little brother who's 3 years younger than me, so he would have been 4 years old.
Okay. So were you placed in foster care when your mom died, or?
Yes, I was actually in foster care before my mother died. When I was born, the state realized that my mother had drug problems because she had other kids who were older than me. I have two other brothers and an older sister. So they were also not with my mother as well. I mean, because the state realized that she was in no mindset to take care of kids. So the state told my mother that she couldn't take care of us and take care of me, and my grandmother decided to step up to the plate, and she took care of me until they said she couldn't as well. And then that's when they put me in foster care when I was put in a foster home. A lot of people think foster homes is just a big house with a bunch of kids and no structure, and they do whatever they want. But the foster homes that I was fortunate to be put into were always a single-family home where they might have had another child that could be my role model, or just someone that I could play with. So I'm not just a lonely kid or whatever.
So were you and your brother in the same foster homes, or?
Well, like I said, I was put in a foster home when I was around 2 years old. My brother, he wasn't born yet. So in that foster home, we weren't together because he wasn't born. But when he was born, they did change my foster home, and I was put in another foster home. That's where I met my little brother, and it's also where I spent a majority of my childhood. Well, up until I was adopted, that's where I stayed.
Okay, and so how was the transition for you from being in foster cares all your life to being in a stable environment with your adopted father?
Well, like I said, I was fortunate enough to be put into a foster home where it was just a single family home. So, I mean, the transition wasn't as big because I was used to having a set of parents who made sure you follow the rules and made sure you ate your vegetables. So I was already used to that. Transition wasn't as big. But the only transition was having one parent, went from having two parents to just one.
So, do you think that sharing this experience with your brother has made you guys closer than most people are with their siblings, or do you think that you and your brother are closer because of that?
Well, I must say we are closer because of that. I can't judge if we're closer than someone who didn't share this experience because I wouldn't know how that is. But I do believe we are closer because of this, because I know where he has come from and he knows where I've come from. I know what he has been through and he knows what I've been through. Therefore, we can piggyback off of that. I mean, and if he's ever going through something, my dad knows that my brother, he'll listen to me because I understand what he's going through.
Do you feel it's like a he's all I got type relationship? Like, do you feel that with your brother, or like?
Yeah, because that's truly how it is. I mean, I have other brothers and sisters, but we're the only ones with the same mother and father. So I feel like this is all I have left. So therefore, if anything happened to him, I'm always there. Because, I mean, it's my brother.
And how's your relationship with your father? Like we mentioned him earlier, like he adopted you. So like, were you grateful or did you resent him?
Well, of course I went through that phase of resentment. and just hatred. I was more upset that I was put up for adoption because, like I said, that second foster home, I grew fond of the foster parents and their children. They had children. Their children had children, and they were about our age. So I grew up with them. I looked at her as my little sister. So I was a little upset that I was put up for adoption afterwards. I was hurt because, I mean, when my mother died, I was in that family. So she was there to teach me. She taught me everything I knew about, life. So when I found out that I was put up for adoption, I felt hurt. So I was ready to hurt anyone because I felt like I was hurt. So I went through that time of resentment. And, my dad, he didn't give up on me. That's how I knew that he was the right one for me. He'll ask me, John, what are you thinking about? We'll be driving home from Lynchburg, and he'll ask me, John, what are you thinking about? And I'll say, nothing, I don't know. And he'll always come back with the same response. You got to be thinking about something. You're not that dumb. So I'll come up with a smart response. So after that phase, I understood that he loved me. He was going to do whatever he could to help me. So I began to open up with him. We tried counseling to try to get me open up, but of course I was stubborn, so I was going to do it my time whenever I wanted to. So I finally did open up. And he helped me. He taught me everything I know. He prepared me for life. Prepared me to be a man. So I can only thank him for everything he has done.
Well, thank you for your time, John, and that's all the time we have today on Talking with Tiffany.